This is Wicked Rhody, a wicked good podcast about Rhode Island events and life. Hey everybody and welcome. My name is Mary Larson.
And I'm Ben DeCastro. Thank you so much for tuning in and joining us. You know, the summer is on its back nine, as it were.
Yeah.
But this is really the time when you start getting a lot of the fairs and festivals that are coming in hot and heavy.
Yep.
Because you'll start having, like, you know, I think it was last weekend was the seafood festival down in Charleston, and that really starts kicking it off because now we've got all the big fairs, and those fairs are based around like the farmers.
Correct.
Harvest,
bounty, the harvest that is coming in.
Yeah, the harvest schedule. So you start to see those popping up everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
So get ready for an overload of kettle corn and cotton candy and
corn on the cob.
Seriously, it's all those fun events that surround that. But to be honest with you, I mean, I have another week of games. Next week is the last week of Paw Sox games for the home stand. They'll be on the road one more week, and then the season's over. And unfortunately, there's no playoffs coming for the Paw Sox. Well, here's the deal. With AAA baseball, you don't really control the team.
Okay.
It's really controlled by the Boston Red Sox.
Okay.
And if your AAA team is getting into the playoffs, there's a good chance that your major league team isn't. And vice versa.
Because the good players need to be on one of those two teams.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yep. And if they're not developed enough to make it up to the majors, or they got too many big names and they're top heavy in the major side, and you have good players just waiting to get in there, and those higher expense players are on their decline.
Yep.
So the Boston Red Sox are doing great.
There you go.
So that's good.
Okay.
And if they go and win a World Series, I'm curious if I'll get a ring or not. I doubt it, but it'd be cool.
That would be cool.
I would love it.
I wonder who you need to ask.
I'll ask anybody. I'll ask people on the show. I'll ask anybody. But
you can ask Paws.
Yeah, I'll have a sit down with Paws and give him the what for, why I should get a ring. What about you? You did some traveling recently.
I did some traveling. We had a staycation. It was so much fun. My husband and I we went to Rockport, Massachusetts, and also got to go see the Fisherman's Memorial. We went on the Rail Explorers in Portsmouth down here in Rhode Island.
Yeah,
went to a lot of beaches with my kids, and then I went down to Washington, D.C. to go visit a friend of mine, actually more Virginia, but Washington, D.C., everything around there is D.C.
Sure.
It was great. I'm happy to be back because, as you said, this is the fair season. This is when the ocean is finally warm enough where I don't freeze too much.
Right.
So I'm happy to be back in Rhode Island. Not happy that it's back to school season almost, but I'm just soaking up as much summer as I possibly can.
The Holderness family this week released a hilarious video,
really?
as they always do, with the remake of a song.
Yep.
And if you haven't seen it, we'll share it on the Wicked Rhody page. It is fantastic. You got to check it out.
I love it.
But that's what's going on around our area. That's what's happening with the Holderness family, too.
Yes.
And if you're tuned in while you're on the road working or getting errands done, just sit back, listen, and enjoy the episode. And if you hear something that piques your interest, we'll have all the links and info for you in our show notes and on our website, wickedrhodypodcast.com.
All right, Ben. What is the wicked interesting pick for this week?
It's the 51st annual Washington County Fair.
Woo-hoo!
That's right. It's happening now through August 20th. It is a New England tradition.
Yep.
And it's really well put together. It's a huge site. There are so many different things to take in. They have some amazing music acts coming in. For example, Billy Gilman, obviously Rhode Island's own.
And he's from down there.
He's from that area, so he doesn't have to travel far. You have to travel far if you're from Providence, Cranston, or wherever else in the state.
Yep.
But Billy will be performing there on Saturday night. On Sunday, it is a country hit group called Runaway June, which they're a dynamite group, and they're doing 2 shows on Sunday. And of course, they'll always have the various the fair rides, the midway. They'll have the tractor pulls and the horse pulls. They'll have the farm museum, agricultural events and shows. So definitely check that out. That's happening again now through Sunday night, August 20th. It's the Washington County Fair. And this is one of those events where you bring the entire family.
Amen.
You can do so many different things. And there's a lot of shade down there as well.
There is.
There's a lot of shady spots actually where they perform the concerts and stuff. It's very, very well covered. So check that out. That's our wicked interesting pick of the week. And now here's what's wicked fun in the 401.
Do you know who Howard Phillips Lovecraft is?
No,
was?
No, but does he owe me $10?
Please. He was born in 1890 right here in Providence, Rhode Island, and during his life, he revolutionized both the horror and the science fiction genres. And in 1927, he coined the term weird fiction.
Okay.
So it's kind of like a big deal in Providence. You know, he has all these stories, and the influence of these stories on not just fiction, but on art and film and all types of literature continue to spread and find new life nearly 80 years after his death. So, one of the biggest writers that may consider him an influence is Edgar Allan Poe, like lots of dark, fearful kind of things.
Okay.
So they're going to be having a festival this weekend, the International Festival of Weird Fiction, Art, and Academia. It's the Necronomicon. Let's hope I'm saying that right. But listen, when I lived in Providence...
Necronomicon?
Thank you. That was a hard word for me.
I've gotten very good at pronouncing weird words thanks to my time over at the Paw Sox.
Can you say it one more time?
Necronomicon.
There you go. It is a 4-day convention that is going to be featuring panelists, talk by experts, artists, historians who are influenced by the life and the works of H.P. Lovecraft. It also includes Lovecraft-themed gaming, creative workshops. There's going to be a ball, all types of events. And I'm not going to lie, I hadn't really known too much about H.P. Lovecraft before I moved to Providence.
Okay.
But once I did, it was like a whole new world opened up to me of people who love this type of literature, who love this type of art. And there's a lot of interesting, real brilliant people who come and participate in this. So I didn't even know that they had their own con. But it's happening this weekend.
Seems like everybody has a con these days.
It truly. So
is there a pod con?
There is. There's a I don't know if there's
not a con. It's a fest.
Yeah, there's a pod fest.
There's Pod World.
Podcast movement.
Yeah.
All kinds of things, but maybe not PodCon. Maybe we need to have a PodCon here in Providence.
I think we need to set up a PodCon.
I like this. So some of the Necronomicon.
There
you go.
Now batting the center fielder, Necronomicon.
Some of these events and sites are going to be open to the general public for free or maybe a small entrance fee, including movie screenings, vendor halls, and art exhibitions. Big Nazo is going to be performing.
Well, who doesn't love those guys?
Right. So if you're like, I don't really know about this. If you know Big Nazo, and they're kind of just weird and funky and fictional creatures and musicians. If you're like, I could be down with Big Nazo, I want you to look more into this con coming on this weekend.
Sounds good. Hey, another great way to see art, local art especially, is the 14th annual Open Studio Tour for the South Coast artists. It's happening Saturday and Sunday, and it includes over 70 exhibiting artists. Now, this is the deal with this. It is a traveling thing, meaning you're going to have to have your own vehicle.
Okay.
And you're going to go to different studios in 4 beautiful coastal towns, Tiverton, Little Compton, Westport, and Dartmouth. And you can go online. We'll have the link, or you can go to any of the sponsors and get a map of where it is. The map is really good, and they have the maps over at Carty's Furniture, which is a great way to, grab that.
Yeah.
Because it'll show you an actual, road map of where all these artists are. They're going to have their studio open, which may be different hours than they typically would. And then also on the map that you pick up, you'll see all the options for food.
Now you're talking.
From local local little mom and pop food stands and shops and whatnot. So this is a self-guided tour that'll take you across the small highways and rural byways of the stunning, natural, beautiful areas of Tiverton, Little Compton, Westport, and Dartmouth.
Nice.
And you're going to see different artists doing different mediums such as oils or acrylics, watercolors, photography, sculpture, basketry, fiber arts, ceramic, glass, wood, metal, jewelry, paper, and mixed media. So this is really, if you're into art and you like to see this local stuff, this is where you have to go, because these studios typically aren't open on the weekends, and they will be there, and you don't have to feel like you're obligated to make a purchase.
That's better for me.
So if you can go and check out these different things there, maybe you see a piece of art that you like that's maybe out of budget right now, but you buy something smaller and work your way up because you develop a relationship with the artist or their studio.
Or you put it on your holiday shopping list.
This is a great way to kick off your holiday shopping.
Right?
It really is, because you may find something, and you know what? Just send it now and get it out of the way. Say, hey, by the way, Christmas 2017, you might as well check that off. You're done.
You put it under the bed. You wrap it and you put it under the bed.
There you go. Awesome. What else is going on?
Okay, so we often talk about events going on the weekend. Sometimes we dabble into events that are earlier on next week. Monday, August 21st, huge flippin' deal. In all of North America, okay? Not just to the ocean state, not just southern New England. All of North America is going to be experiencing the fabulous eclipse of the sun stretching from Oregon across the U.S. to South Carolina. The moon is going to just push its way over and block the sun.
I've not heard anything about this. Has this been in the news?
I don't know. It's not like I've seen anything about it on Facebook ever, so I just feel like I need to let people know. So this is going to be, of course, the first total solar eclipse to shine in the entire U.S. Since June 1918. And I want you to know about a couple, like a place right now, and then in a second I'm going to tell you about another place. But the Frosty Drew Observatory and Sky Theater. That's near Nitty-Grit Park. That's when you're going to go down south, and you're going to go near is that East Matunic area, past the real southern part of the state,
way down there,
right near the fantastic umbrella factory. So starting at 10 a.m., the Frosty Drew campus, they're going to be having a ton of solar activity. They're going to be solar telescopes in both white light and hydrogen alpha. Okay, so if you're an astro geek, this is where you want to go. They're going to have solar projections showcasing the projected views of the sun. The solar eclipse starts at 1:30 p.m., continues until 4 p.m. So literally, guys, no one's going to miss it, okay? That's a long
Nobody's going to get any work
done, right? The maximum eclipse is going to be at 2:47 p.m. when the moon eclipses about 66% of the sun. So you will be able to, get a partial solar eclipse, but this is going to be a great event. Go to the observatory if you've never been there. It's fantastic. It's also a great date night if you don't want to go on the solar eclipse day.
Good idea.
But just so you know, the Frosty Drew Observatory and Sky Theater, that's down near Nitty-Grit Park.
All right, you'll have to check that out. Very good. Look up at the sky, people, with the right glasses.
Yeah, I was just going to say, you need some glasses.
Yeah. Well, hey, you bring out your sunglasses for this one. It's the Vintage Volkswagen Sales is proud to present the return of the Diamond Hill Volkswagen Show on Sunday, August 20th at Diamond Hill State Park in Cumberland, Rhode Island. You remember the old school VW bus?
Oh, yes, I do.
And the old school Beetles.
Those are my favorites.
You will see some of the best of these that you've ever seen, all in their original glory, restored, or just never touched. I mean, it's really cool. The show is from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. They'll have different classes, and people can also vote on winners and whatnot. They will have 2 live bands. There will be food trucks, and it's only $5 a person.
Awesome.
And children under 12 are free.
Even better.
If you want to enter your VW,
okay.
If you want to enter your car in, it's $20. But again, this is a car show, so there'll be judging and prizes, and that's the difference between a car show and a car cruise.
Okay.
A car cruise is just you come and park, and everybody's anybody can absolutely come and hang out. A car show actually has awards and classes and whatnot. So, and a lot of the the motorheads, they all know all that stuff. So this is going to be taking place on Sunday, and it's specific to the Volkswagen era. So this is really cool.
The Volkswagen Bug, the old school one, was my dream car growing up. And then I became an inch shy of 6 foot.
Yeah, no, things change.
Things change. And I was
if you want an RV, you need a full out Winnebago because Blake's not too short either.
No He's not. But this is really cool because I love me some VWs. I mean, I literally have stickers. I love Volkswagen so much.
Yeah.
I just can't fit in half of them.
Well, it's all right.
That's okay. All right, so this week's Wicked family-friendly event, talking about the solar eclipse. It's still school vacation week, school vacation time. I'm just so excited that this is happening during vacation time because if this happened during school, those poor teachers. Mm-hmm. Good luck having a test.
Yeah. Well, I mean, some schools are still are in now.
Right. Really?
Like down in Georgia, they've been in for like 3 weeks.
Oh, I mean here.
Oh, yeah.
We don't do that crazy thing,
no,
okay? This is time to go to the harvest.
Yeah, right.
Go swimming in that warm ocean
course.
and watch the solar eclipse. But I agree with you. Some poor states, they're already in school. Bless their hearts. So, of course, it's happening Monday, 1:30 to 4. I wanted to let you know about the Weaver Library in East Providence. So if you don't want to go all the way down south to the Nitty Grit Park area, you can head on over to East Providence to the Weaver Lawn. They're going to be having a whole celebration. There are free viewing glasses for the first 400 attendees. They're really trying to focus this, especially for families. There's going to be live music. There's going to be food trucks. There's going to be face painting. There's an astronaut photo booth.
Jeez.
Right?
Everything.
Space-themed raffles, so much more. So, if you especially have like little ones, I'd totally check this solar eclipse viewing party. Once again, free viewing glasses for the first 400 attendees. But here's my question for you, Ben. Does Benny's sell eclipse glasses?
I don't know.
I put a Facebook call out because I feel like Benny's carries everything.
Yeah, they do, but I don't know if they would... See, there's been issues with these glasses, though. I don't know if you've seen it.
I haven't. I've been offline.
So people who have purchased some glasses have been getting bootleg ones because you have a lot of these fly-by-night people who will order these from like an Oriental trading catalog or something, and they're not UV protected, they're not rated, and they're just selling them for like $10-15 when they only cost 2 cents a piece. Mm-hmm. So there's a lot of those bootleg things out there. I feel like this is something that if Benny's was going to do it, they would have the legit ones.
Yes.
But to get the legit ones in and have them officially tested, you really got to be careful with this whole...
So where can I get these glasses?
I would strongly suggest checking in with our local news people because I know they've been doing a ton of stories on the bootleg ones are and where the good ones are.
Okay.
Or you can do what I'm going to do, and that is just tune into the news on Monday night, and I'll see it there.
You're not going to watch it in real life.
I don't have time to stand outside for 4 hours and watch.
2:47. 2:47. Can you stand outside for just 1 minute?
Yeah, but I mean, is it worth it?
You are not an astro geek. Is that what you're saying?
No, I love the space shuttle. Are you kidding me? I had the biggest argument with a girl I dated one time about the word scrub.
Okay.
Because I was watching, they were getting ready to launch a rocket or something, and I had DirecTV at the time with 1,000 channels, and NASA channel was on. Oh my God. And I'm watching, they're getting ready to launch this missile thing. And she comes and she goes, "What are you doing?" I'm like, they're getting ready to launch this thing, but I say, I think they're going to scrub it. She goes, "Scrub it? What is that?" And I looked at her. I said, "That's the word they use, like if they're not going to, if they're going to just cancel it." And she goes, "No, they don't. They don't do that. This and that. I can't believe they use the word scrub. It sounds so unofficial and all this other stuff." Sure enough, 2 minutes out, they're like, "All right, guys, we're going to call it scrub on this mission." And of course, you hear the guys in the astronaut like, "Received out. We're going to be a scrub." Yeah. And then the commentator's like, "This is to let you know that on the NASA channel here on NASA.gov, we have officially scrubbed this mission launch of STS, blah, 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 blah."
Scrub.
And I just looked at her, and then I started playing the TLC No Scrubs song.
I love it.
It was a beautiful thing. So am I an astro geek? Long story short, I like some of that stuff, but...
not enough to burn your corneas?
Yeah, no. I appreciate my retinas. Thank you. Hey, as we said at the beginning, everything we talked about today can be found on our website, wickedrodypodcast.com.
You can find us online, Facebook and Instagram. We're sure going to be posting a bunch of these photos, guys. So if you don't want to burn your retinas, just head on over. Yep. It's Instagram.com/wickedrody. And if you're posting photos of the solar eclipse at the Washington County Fair with the biggest eggplant in the world, or not really the biggest eggplant, but who knows? Maybe we could this year have the biggest eggplant. I don't know, but
if you're listening in England, that means something totally different. But go for it.
Oh my gosh, did I just say I'm the perverted? I'm so sorry.
That's all right.
Cheerio. Okay, use the hashtag Wicked Rhody.
Right, because that's the only way I'm going to be able to observe this solar eclipse. So if you want advertising or sponsorship information, email us at wickedrhodeypodcast@gmail.com.
Until next time, folks, I'm Mary Larson.
And I'm the solar eclipse hating Ben DeCastro.
And you've been listening to Wicked Rhody. We'll have more for you next Thursday.